find something really cool.
Nice.
Okay, hey guys, we are back for some more Phoenix Wright. Right now we are switching again. But yeah, today is another day of trial. Yay.
Well, it's got to be the last day of trial, because remember, Godot said, we'll settle everything in court tomorrow.
True that.
True dat.
True that. So, what was that?
You said so I said
So yeah. And last time, we just finished our investigating, got some more clues, figured out how my tongue is already failing me.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out who Miss Elise Stoneham is. If you guys didn't catch that, go check it out. But yeah. So today, gonna be doing some trial work. Prepare yourself, brain. We're gonna be doing some thinking. Put on your thinking cap. Take it away, Sean. Okay, put it on.
There you go.
Thanks.
February 10th, 9:39 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1.
Okay. Good morning. Oh, are you okay by yourself?
Morning, Earls.
Mr. Nick, please tell me. What's going to happen to Mystic Maya?
I'm sorry. We don't know yet. The investigation is still ongoing, so I wasn't allowed into the Inner Temple.
I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those trick blocks in the training hall?
No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the Inner Temple. She's required to be here in court.
Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby?
I have to admit, it's kind of strange. I'm guessing that this is Miles or Godot. Or we can do it on 3. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Ah! Edgeworth. What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Oh. You know what that means, right? If Iris is testifying as a witness, that means she's not the defendant anymore.
No, we've had the defendant testify many times.
For the prosecution?
But then who's the defendant? I got a really bad feeling about
Think about it. Who's been accused every game, but hasn't been accused this game yet?
She's trapped.
So she still could have killed someone before she got trapped. Plus, we don't even know if she's down there. Because we can't get in.
Don't you think we would have found her by now?
Wait, what? The prosecutor's squeezing her for a confession. Or so I heard. Oh, okay. They're trying to get her to confess. Franziska von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today.
No?
Of course not. We gotta settle everything with Godot. What? Then who is? Who else would it be but Godot? Godot. Franziska is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern. She's sitting there smacking the trick locks.
Iris must have taught her all the combinations.
Maybe.
She had plenty of time.
I'm imagining she's just like sitting there hitting the locks, going, "Open! Open the door!"
With her wits, yeah. The Secret Cavern. You don't mean that she's...
Exactly. She had been out there all night. She has been out there all night, trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you've passed your cold on someone else, literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Thanks. Aww. I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Donham. No, I mean Miss Misty Fey. That's not much better. Miss Misty is not much better than Mystic Misty. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. And what that woman is really after. We already know what she's after. I'll solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. February 10th, 10 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 7.
Don't tell me I have to deal with... Yay! Yay! Yes! Oh, I'm so happy!
What, do we have the old judge back? Yeah,
Yes.
we do!
Yes, we have our good old and competent judge back. Yes.
See,
Oh, I'm so happy.
Edgeworth needed a different judge because he would recognize Edgeworth.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, maybe. He also thought that he recognized Phoenix.
Okay.
But, little legal tidbit fact for you. This can't happen. If there's an actual case and the judge changes, you cannot continue the trial.
Well, it's a video game. I hope you can remember his voice.
Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Know it.
Your Honor? What are you...
Who? Me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted.
We found out who we passed the cold on to.
Therefore, I'll be standing in for him.
I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot.
Oh, that other guy was his brother. She did
Then
say
how come
that-
one's Canadian?
Yeah, the other one is Canadian.
My poor brother. He looked a bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. It is impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past.
Look who's talking!
And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Godot. I understand exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyway. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides.
And as usual, he's making not a single sense.
There's only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world.
Please don't say coffee.
Orange juice. The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug.
I knew it!
And as usual, he's not making a lick of sense.
They could be like, hey, happy birthday, Godot. Surprise, aren't you surprised? And he'd be like,
There's only one thing that surprises me in this world. How sweet my coffee can be.
it'd be like, this is why we don't throw birthday parties for you, Godot. This is why you don't have friends. You weirdo.
So then you mean... forget it. What do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she has had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Housecourt Temple has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant?
I don't like this.
Iris, why didn't she discuss this with me first?
Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. It's the only one that doesn't have to do anything with coffee.
Interesting. My name is Iris. I am a simple nun undergoing training at Housecourt Temple.
Witness, is there something that you want to confess to?
Yes. But first, I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore.
What is this confession going to do? It's alright. What is it?
That's right. I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Or, are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Stoneham?
No, I'm not, Your Honor.
It was my affair.
But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After the spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the temple courtyard, where I just discarded it.
Desecrated.
Desecrated?
Yeah. It basically means, like, when you find a dead body, what do you do with it? Do you fiddle with it and mess with it and move it around and stab it again? No. Because that's desecrating. It's basically taking away any respect that you have for something. So if you desecrate a grave, it means you, like, kick up the flowers and knock over the tombstone. It basically means you're showing you have no respect for it.
What? Order in the court. Order! Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder?
Yes, that's correct. It was my sister.
What?
It was my sister.
3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat.
Ah, everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be that in this case, it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright?
That could do. So this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this. But it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie. Iris's testimony crumpled up and shoved into a pocket.
Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions?
Iris was covering up for someone? Now I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle. Or a life jacket.
I've been at Hasbro Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hasbro Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
I'm sorry, but main family?
Yes. And that's why I would... And that's why I would dirty myself?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck does that mean?
Dirtying herself? Doing something dirty. Doing, like, lowering herself to something unacceptable or frowned upon.
Huh. If need be. To protect her.
Yep, see?
The daughter of the master of the Korean channeling technique. Mystic Maya Faye.
See? Huh?
Wake up and smell the coffee, Trite.
She's naming Maya?
Order! Order in the court! So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer.
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. No. No.
She has a motive.
No, she did not.
They're gonna argue that she does. Because if Misty's dead, who becomes the master?
That doesn't make any sense. Why would Maya kill her own mother?
To become the master.
Yeah, I get that, but Maya is not that kind of person. We've
Well-
known her for years now. We've known her for a few years now.
Another thing that Phoenix should point out, but I'm guessing he probably won't. If the master of the channeling technique leaves the village for 15 years, she forfeits the title of master.
I thought it was 20.
Is it 20?
Yeah, because it's been more than 15 years.
Well, yeah, I'm saying that's what it is she's technically not the master anymore.
Yeah, but Maya hasn't been the master for... It's been 17 years.
Yes, it's been 17 years.
Maya wasn't the master until now.
Well, now she is, because Misty's been killed. Guess she's got a motive.
She didn't even recognize her.
Right?
I saw her come in.
I mean, it was even harder for her to recognize when it's covered with gravely roast. I still love that, though. Like, Lil Pearl reading it going... Great gravy? Roast. Oh, okay.
Okay. I saw her commit the ground with my very own eyes. Then I cleaned up the area to try and protect her.
That's ridiculous. Maya could never do such a...
The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time.
Fine.
Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime?
Yes, Your Honor.
I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction.
The real murderer.
I went to the inner temple that night and saw it, and I'm already messing up. And I saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff, while Mystic Maya was still stumbling. Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
So it was in self-defense.
Yet, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya.
You moved the victim's body into the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal.
Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night. And that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
I see something, but I don't think it's right.
What do you see?
Mystic Elise would never have attacked first. Even if that was what happened. That was her daughter.
Maybe she thought that Maya was going to kill her for the title of master.
Even she knew her daughter wouldn't do that.
She does. But does the judge? That's all they have to convince is the judge. If they convince the judge that Maya would do it, then the judge will believe Maya could do it. It doesn't matter if we go, no, she was like feeding birds all day yesterday. He'll be like, well, she could have done it, so I've got to think that she might have done it. Sister Iris, your testimony's changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple.
Did she now? Too bad for you. What she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go?
It was in the inner temple's training hall.
A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be properly described as hearsay.
No, it wouldn't.
What do you have to say, witness?
I just couldn't tell him the truth at the time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she? I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit the murder.
There. We all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What'd you witness in the temple garden?
Well, Your Honor.
You're saying that the victim attacked Miss Faye.
Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and it looked like she was going to collapse.
What were you doing at the time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting?
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. doesn't move.
And then I saw Maya push her twice.
Are you ever?
Nope.
I couldn't see. I was in such shock.
She's literally using the same testimony that her sister did. I was frozen, so I just had to watch. And then I watched him push him twice. She's like one step away from saying that.
That's perfectly understandable, my dear.
This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute.
What happened after that?
She moved in to deliver a fatal strike.
Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. What?
Wait a minute. What was this weapon?
It was some kind of dagger.
A dagger, huh? And Elise Stoneham tried to stab her with this weapon. To kill Miss Fay.
Yes, exactly.
Huh. You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy?
That's new.
Do you have a problem with Iris's testimony?
Yes. Add that.
Your
Add
Honor.
that.
I have a small problem with the witness's testimony.
You do? But this witness is your own client.
Yes, well, nevertheless.
That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that. Listen, Gramps. I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. Okay, now, let's continue.
She threw a staff away and pulled a dagger from inside her robe.
She threw her staff away.
Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon.
It's true. It's not easy to inflict a deadly blow with a staff.
Sister Iris, let me make sure I've got this straight. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff.
Oh, I get it.
Do you? What is it?
Why would she throw away her most deadliest weapon
Right?
if she was trying to kill Maya?
If she was trying to kill Maya, why would she throw away the sword to grab a dagger?
That makes no sense. Yes, that's what I saw.
Is there anything odd about that, Mr. Wright?
Yeah, it's odd, alright.
Mystic Elise attacked Mystic Maya. That is mystic. So much mystic.
Right?
It's a dagger. It's a dagger. I'm sure of this.
And then?
Mystic Maya turned things around, and then she used the weapon she had taken and lunged forward for a strike.
Witness, are you absolutely certain?
Yes, but believe me, she had no choice. The Mystic Maya had done something.
Maya Fay's name would have been written on this autopsy report instead. Yes, I see.
This is bad. I still can't put the pieces together. Unless I find a contradiction in her testimony, Maya's gonna get blamed for this.
Again. I only have this to say.
So you're saying Maya Fay was the one who stabbed Miss Elise Stoneham? Sister Iris, is that really what you saw?
Yes.
Tisk, 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 Trite. If your mug is filled with black and bitter suspicions, the only way to get rid of them is to drink them down quick. Like that. That one was still hot.
I know that's supposed to be a metaphor, but I don't get it.
There's only one thing you need to get, Trite. It's called evidence. Now hurry up, before my next cup gets cold.
What does that mean? Is Godot waiting for me to point out the contradictions? Oh, he's got a trap set up.
Yeah.
I'd like to avoid the whole spirit channeling thing if I can. Not only would it be inadmissible as evidence, but I think it might actually hurt our standing with the judge. First, I need to pick her testimony part and expose the unnatural sounding parts. I don't know why Iris would tell a story like this, but there are two things I noticed that just don't add up.
Why would she throw away her most deadliest weapon?
Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events.
Huh?
Miss Stoneham throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me.
But all you can do with a staff is hit someone.
Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword.
Ah!
If Elise Stoneham really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say?
That was an impressive bit of investigating, Trite. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy, and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade.
Well,
Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony.
There is something strange about that though.
but there is something strange about this whole testimony.
Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point.
Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. You sound like you know what it is.
I know what it is, but I don't know how to prove it. Mr. Wright.
I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted. Because Miss Elise Stoneham would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey.
What do you think of the scroll or the amulet?
Well, the scroll, you can't see what's on it.
No, what?
You can't see what's on the scroll. I think it's this. Real name Misty Fey, Maya's mother. Like you said, she wouldn't kill her own daughter. The music stopped. Elise Stoneham would never have attacked Maya Fey.
How can you be so sure?
Because the victim's real name was not Elise Stoneham. Her real name was Misty Fey.
Fey?
Ah! No! Not Mystic.
Ha!
Oh god. Not Mystic Misty Fey.
Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to...
Misty Fey is the mather. Misty Fey is the master of the crane channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey.
Are you serious?
Yes. Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Stoneham actually the great Mystic Misty? Now I know how you feel.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
Now I know how you feel.
It looks like Iris had no idea.
I can hardly believe it.
The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter one she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. Ugh.
Order! Order in the court! Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, one, that the victim supposedly threw away his sword during a fight, and two, that the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter, despite the facts being believable when taken on their own. When taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Listen, there's nothing in this world that's impossible. Except for one little thing.
It better not involve coffee.
Yes? What is this one little impossible thing? Huh. You still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under-roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps.
Could you get to your point?
I heard this witness's confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee. You're going to ruin your health, my friend. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty. Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing? Obviously, Your Honor. But do you not notice something else? Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be jelly on it.
Seriously?
Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene.
Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene?
Huh? The pine tree?
This dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree. When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women, this little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. Which means the blood on this dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Huh. Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee.
I thought you said it was your 8th cup.
Didn't you just say it was your 8th just a few minutes ago?
I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice.
What I'm thinking is what happened was he started his 8th cup of coffee, and then she went, so this is what really happened. He went, he drank until he got to his 13th cup before she even finished the confession. He drank 5 cups of coffee before she was done talking.
I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice. In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately.
Found behind a tree in the inner temple garden. The blood is being analyzed now.
Now then, the testimony we've just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible.
You put up in glasses.
Cute girls never lie. Ever.
Then explain Dahlia Hawthorne.
In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court.
She lied left and right.
I watched Fanny push him twice.
See what I mean? Proving my point.
I mean, he did. He did push Doug.
Only once though. About what, Your Honor?
About the incident you saw. The battle between the two women.
Yes, Your Honor.
The battle.
Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. But then she dodged Mystic Elise next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away. So then she collapsed. I already see the contradiction.
Oh, wow. That was a very heartbreaking story.
I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic. Yeah, I definitely feel your pain.
Yep.
Since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Try saying Mystic Misty 5 times fast.
Mystic Misty, Mystic Misty, Mystic Misty, Misty, no.
So, let me try. This should be fun. Mystic Misty, Mystic. Nope.
Nope.
You have a better tongue than I do. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore.
That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
So you already saw the contradiction, huh?
Uh-huh.
What is it?
Go to the stone lantern part.
Well, we're gonna press on that thing.
Oh yeah, we always have to press on stuff.
Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this?
What do you mean?
Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle.
I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. I'd never noticed Maya's hairdo from the back.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me.
So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck?
What happened to the victim's staff then?
I'm not sure. The area was so very dark, so I couldn't really see. I mixed those two up, but they mean...
They meant the same thing.
Yeah, they meant the same thing either way, so... I think he got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated.
That makes sense.
Really? It got knocked away somewhere, like all the way from the garden to the courtyard.
That would explain the need for the dagger.
Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike. The Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. And that's a very shiny dagger.
Right?
And then at some point, Mystic Maya picks it up.
Nothing sounds especially strange yet.
What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her?
Oh, right. I don't need to read it.
You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim.
Yes. Whew. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger.
I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point, it's just silly.
Unless she had a hamburger. As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal.
I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified.
Your animal analogies have grown tiresome.
You were the one who started it!
Anyway, so after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next?
Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw?
Ooh, wow, why are you yawning? Yes, I'm almost certain.
I said absolutely. Almost?
The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who.
What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely.
We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night, and that the woman that was killed was Elise Donim. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who?
Ugh. I don't have anything to counter that yet.
Well then, witness, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. The two of them faced each other for a moment. Then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. Then Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground.
So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh?
Yes.
Where did that dagger go?
I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see.
According to the detective who found the dagger, it was stuck into the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung toward the tree after the struggle. That is the most likely explanation, yes.
After being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away?
Now that I think of it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while. The Mystic Maya stood there, not moving an inch. It felt for a moment like time had just stopped. But then suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over.
Seems like a reasonable story at first. But there's one thing that is completely impossible. The very idea of Maya stabbing someone, that alone is impossible. Which means this faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it, somewhere. Alright, so you said that one?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Autopsy.
Oh, clever. I forgot what the autopsy said. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement?
I'm not sure I follow you.
It? That makes no sense.
Because this one isn't her being stabbed. That's the one where she's stabbed.
Okay, so presented here?
The last one was just her having her back to the stone lantern. Something about you just isn't right today, Iris.
Huh?
Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions.
What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony?
According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern. Yes?
Yes, that's right.
But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right?
Yes, I think so.
But, according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back.
Ah,
This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony.
Ah!
What? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? Huh. It's simple. People are like books. We've all got a front and a back. You get my drift? No? What are you on now? What is in that coffee that you drink? Is that all you have to say? I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind.
Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff, the people fighting being mother and daughter, and now she falsely claims that the victim was stabbed in the stomach.
There certainly are some inconsistencies.
Well, Iris, how about it?
Well, it's just...
If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing.
What do you mean?
There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee. But to pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all the senses. You have to taste the bitterness, get to see the bitterness. You have to hear the bitterness. Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said? Prosecutor Godot, explain yourself. The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly.
He's either going to say eyes, or he's going to say something really stupid and pretend deep.
And that is light.
Okay.
Light. By the way, did you know Hazakura has a rule that on nights when an acolyte is at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit?
I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for.
Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern.
Impossible?
It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night.
Oh, why do we keep yawning?
Sounds like you need some coffee.
No, I do not want any coffee, thank you, Godot.
I can offer you Godot's Special Blend number 47.
No, not 47, thank you.
There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's it. Most enlightening.
Wrong voice.
Most enlightening.
I don't know. For some reason, I keep feeling like he should have like more of an old man voice, and I don't know why. I guess because he's bald and has white hair. So it would be more like,
Most enlightening.
He has white hair.
well, so does the judge.
No, the judge is gray.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped,
I sound like Maya. Actually, that's just a ladder. I sound like Phoenix right now.
Right?
Actually, that's a step ladder.
Well, you should be more open to cultural differences. Jeez, Nick.
if the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Wright?
No! I think... I don't know what you mean anymore, so...
Order! 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 Here, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern into evidence. Maybe it'll rekindle the flame of truth in your mind.
A lantern from the inner temple garden was not lit the night of the crime. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face?
What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot? This lantern. There's something written on it. Why, it's written in blood.
Oh boy. So the judge didn't know about that yet.
Written in blood?
Wait, even
He can't see it.
Oh yeah, that's right. He can't see properly.
He can't see anything red.
He can't?
Remember what was it that he brought in before? Like a towel or something. It was some piece of cloth. The apron.
The apron.
He brought in the apron and he goes, there, this is what they were wearing. And they went, are you going to mention the blood on it? And he goes, there's blood on it? He can't see blood. He literally can't see anything red because his visor is bright red. It's like when you wear red goggles, you can't see anything red.
Huh.
Yeah. He literally can't see blood.
Written in blood?
Iris is like, and you're the prosecutor?
It says Maya upside down. What the?
Oh yeah, that's right. After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing on the stone lantern behind her. With the blood that was draining out of her body.
Hold on, Maya. Let me just write something.
Right?
Let me just stick my hand behind my back to get some blood.
It certainly looks that way. Hang on. Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about? What do you mean, what are we all talking about?
We're talking about the message written in blood.
Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle.
Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday.
My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
He literally cannot see the letter, the letter red. Yes. So that's what he meant by that.
In any case, this is obviously an important clue.
Or maybe it's like, I learned a long time ago that they actually found a way to make blind people see again. They have like a chip that they put in your brain, and then it connects to a wire that connects to a camera that you hold on your belt. And then it'll, take the image and send it to your brain. But it's all flat images. So you can see the outline and like the silhouette of things, but you can't actually see if
Color?
like not just color, but like if they look to the TV, they just see the TV. They wouldn't see anything on the TV.
Oh.
So maybe his visor's like that. Maybe he can just see silhouettes of things, but he can't actually see. Or maybe he just can't see red.
Yeah, they could be. It's like what they're like night vision goggles. I'd say night vision goggles work the same way. You can't see anything green.
Exactly like that.
Can't see anything green.
Exactly.
We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Godot, anything further?
I'm afraid to submit anything else. Like, he can just be like,
Well, I've got this handkerchief,
and he hands it over, and it's like, there's a message written in red marker that literally says, I, the murderer, am not Maya Fey.
Mr. Godot? Okay then, let's move on.
Godot is literally shaking, and somehow, I don't think it's from caffeine overdose.
I believe it has now been established that Miss Stonen was killed by Maya Fey.
That's just wrong.
Now it's time to turn our attention to you.
Yes, sir.
After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears. I'm definitely not all eyes.
Sister Iris's cover-up.
After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusty Bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back. Nothing?
What?
There was a sneeze coming and it didn't come.
Ha! Hate that.
Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to the Hotker Temple, and I used the Cheeto to alter the way the wound looks.
So you move the body.
Yes, I was raised at the Hotker Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fae clan. But even so, I never imagined that Elise Storm was actually Misty Fae.
That's false.
What?
That's false.
What do you mean that's false?
There's no way that she didn't know that it was Misty Faye.
How so?
If she's been here with the Fae clan for so long at Hotker Temple, shouldn't she recognize the master symbol
The talisman.
hanging around Misty's neck the entire time?
I committed a terrible sin.
A terrible trick of fate.
I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor.
I intended to return the inner temple to
Yeah.
I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body. But
You were spotted by the head nun, correct?
yes, and that's why I couldn't go back.
Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Sister Iris's cover-up. Did you notice the contradiction this time?
Don't think so.
Okay. So you wait until everything was over before making a move.
No, it's not like that.
She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a little timid. Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion.
Isn't it your job as the judge to mediate the argument?
What does that mean?
Basically be the person to, keep order. Make sure everyone gets a fair turn.
It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done.
She didn't say this in the testimony before.
Say what?
This.
She did.
She did?
Yeah.
I remember her saying that. So then, you knew. You knew the significance of the name Maya Fey.
Yes, of course I did.
That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position.
Anyway, she was a very special person indeed.
Why did you do that?
Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene.
You moved her body all by yourself.
Yes, I did. It would have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow.
The snow, huh? It's pretty amazing you could make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge.
It looks worse than it is. And it's surprisingly sturdy despite its age.
It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold.
But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into the Eagle River? I didn't think of that. It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple.
I thought that it would still cast much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible.
Huh. Makes perfect sense to me. For the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge?
The snowmobile? I knew that would show up sooner or later.
Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from the Hazakura Temple to Dusty Bridge.
This is the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details?
Ignore the first one.
Right, obviously. We'll try them in order. So about the snowmobile. Let me hear more about the snowmobile ride.
But I was very cold that night, so I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge.
I'm sorry, witness. But now, I've got a problem with your testimony.
Excuse me?
Godot, what are you up to now?
That night, after the head nun left the remainder of the training to you, she said she walked from the inner temple back to Hazakura Temple. Yes, I'm fairly certain that's what the record indicates. Let's recall her comments on the subject.
Maybe. But when I made it back to Hazakura Temple,
Don't quite get it.
it was there by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean.
The snowmobile was in front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say?
Hey, don't knock it over.
Sorry.
Order! Mr. Godot! Why are you pointing out contradictions in the witness's testimony? Let's just say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay?
Well, maybe. Sister Bikini missed it. Yes, maybe she didn't see it.
You think she missed it? That doesn't sound right.
Huh. Whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more time or effort. It's just... you'd better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. A smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that.
Yes, sir.
What was that all about? Why would Godot want to give me a hint?
Very well then, let's continue with the testimony. So you transported the body by snowmobile, all the way to the Hazakura Temple courtyard.
Yes. I thought that way Mystic Maya would never be suspected. That's what I thought. That's what I thought anyway. And then
I'm gonna try. See if we can learn anything else. If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right?
Well, yes, naturally you expect tracks.
This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride?
yes, I think they are.
But I can only see one set of tracks here.
I don't see why that's so strange about it. What's so strange is that snow was still falling when I left the Habitat Temple.
I see. Snow was still falling, huh?
And then when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are only... That's why there are fresh-looking tracks.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony?
Oh, it's very important. Anything we can add to the testimony. When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped? It doesn't make much sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like the statement Iris just made add to the testimony.
But does it have something to do with the case?
All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record.
Huh. This should be fun. Let's get the snow business cleared up, shall we?
Yes, sir. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped.
There have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true?
Yes, I am.
When the murder happened, the snow had already stopped. According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear.
That's right. I'm certain of it.
I think I've trapped her this time.
I see how you think. Snow, huh? What is going on here? That's not his voice. I keep trying to give him the old man voice. What is going on here?
If the snow really had stopped by the time of the murder, it means there's a bigger hole in her story than that movie, The Grid Revelations.
What?
He just made fun of the movie, The Matrix Revelations.
Huh. Well then, Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to share your theory with us. Let's see what's up your sleeve. Or rather, at the end of your index finger.
I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. But why would she want to do that? There's only one reason I can think of.
Because her sister wanted to do it to get revenge on Phoenix. That actually makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense.
What?
She's blaming the murder on, she's pinning it on Maya because her sister, that's what her sister wanted to do, to get revenge on Phoenix.
Okay. But how do we prove it?
What do you think?
Yes, I see.
What?
Read this out loud.
The whole thing?
Yep. Hopefully you'll figure it out before you get to the end.
You know me, it takes a while.
Go for it. And keep in mind that her statement is, it stopped snowing when the murder took place. So it wasn't snowing when the murder took place. And then she carried the body back to the temple. So, go ahead, read.
Eagle Mountain weather data for February 7th. Snow with occasional lightning strikes.
Okay.
Snow 7 to approximately 10:50 p.m.
Okay.
Lightning at 10 to approximately 11 p.m.
Okay.
Lightning struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45.
Okay.
Around 30 minutes passed between the fire starting and going out.
Okay. Okay. I see. I see. So, shall we work through it?
Possibly. They're gonna be like a teacher.
Yes.
With a
So,
pointer and stuff.
so she said, was it snowing when the murder happened?
And the murder happened somewhere around 11.
Okay. And then, so if the murder happened somewhere around 11 because it stopped snowing at 10:50. So,
Oh, I get it.
what?
How could it... Oh, wait. No, wait. No.
Okay, so
I had the wrong idea.
okay. So we'll continue that. So, it snowed until 10:50. So if it wasn't snowing when Elise was murdered, then it was sometime after 10:50. Yes. Okay. So then she took the body, dragged it across Dusky Bridge, and back over to the temple. At what time? Sometime after 10:50. Okay. So what else do we know? What else do we have in the time frame with the weather?
Oh. Snow from 7 to 10:50.
Okay, and so the murder had to have taken place after 10:50, according to her, because it wasn't snowing. So it was after 10:50. Okay, continue.
Lightning 10 to 11.
Doesn't really matter too much.
Yeah, right. The rest of this is about lightning.
No. This line doesn't matter much.
So that one. Then the lightning struck the bridge at 10:45.
Okay. So lightning struck the bridge at 10:45 and set it on fire, yes? And Elise was murdered at 10:50, we'll say. We'll say it stopped snowing at the same time that she died. So Elise was murdered at 10:50. Iris then took the body out of the inner temple and dragged it across Dusky Bridge. Around what time? Around 10:50.
Yeah.
Dragged it across Dusky Bridge, onto the snowmobile, over to the temple.
Wouldn't she not be able to do it because the bridge was on fire?
You think?
Okay, I was like, is that what you're going
That's
for?
why even Godot's like, really? What? That's totally right, though.
Like your head.
Ah. On that one, where she said she dragged it. You claimed that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible.
What?
This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time.
Why do you say that?
Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and it caught on fire.
What did you say?
As soon as she said, I dragged it across Dusky Bridge, and that was one line of the testimony, I'm like, that's going to have something to do with it. The fact that she pointed out specifically that she dragged it across Dusky Bridge means something's up.
The bridge. It was on fire?
Wouldn't you know that if you were at the inner temple?
You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down.
What? It can't be. It can't be.
It looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney.
No!
Order! 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 The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body.
Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
Yeah.
The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Oh, man. Me? How dare you? Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now.
Squat?
The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right? Yes, of course, but whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Doten was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. And second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Iris desecrating Elise Doten's body.
He makes a good point, on both accounts.
That's right. I'm not lying.
So I think I figured it out, but I'm not sure how they pulled it off.
Figured what out?
Well, if she was murdered around 10:50, and then, ba-boom, she showed up on the other side of the bridge to go to the temple, but the bridge was burning. So how did she get across the bridge?
Oh, I get it now.
She flew!
Remember, there were two of her at the time.
Yes!
So she must have. So Dahlia must have threw the body over.
How? That's the one thing I don't get. How did they throw the body 20 yards?
She has a really good swing. I don't know.
They used a catapult.
What are you claiming this time?
It wasn't myself at all last night. That night. So my memory is still somewhere hazy. Somewhere hazy.
You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy?
It is only human to err. If you're so perfect, Wright, maybe you can explain this for the court.
What is it? Hold on, let me save.
When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick.
Ugh. Well, not exactly, no. I know there must be some other way she got across that burnt-out bridge. Unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth.
It looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. You see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth.
Ah!
All right then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more.
About what, Your Honor?
You've admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Will this be her final testimony?
Moving the body.
Speaking of moving, can you bring my arm? other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling, or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much?
Yes.
Are you saying that there is a way to cross a burning bridge? There has
So it was
to
just a misunderstanding, I see.
This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident.
It certainly was burned to a crisp, and one of the suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. Clearly, it would be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition.
Dusky Bridge photo added to the court record. Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth. And Maya will be accused of murder.
again.
Trite. I'm only going to say it one more time. It is only human to err, and only humans can spot the errors of our ways.
The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes.
That doesn't make any sense.
Neither does anything that he says.
All right, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination.
Phew.
Bless you.
Thank you. I'm still surprised that you can hear that.
Yes, but if the snow had already stopped when the incident took place...
I couldn't have crossed the bridge, naturally. But I think it's just like Mr. Gatto said. Idiot.
Mr. Gatto?
What?
Mr. Gatto?
Gatto, yes.
Diego Armando.
Diego, your name is Gatto now. I hope you like it.
My feelings are as bitter as this cup of coffee.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Neither do I.
Then why do you even speak? The body did not make it across the mountain. The body did make it across the mountain.
You seemed to be quite sure of yourself when you gave your testimony. You said you were sure the snow had already stopped.
In terms of story, I was wrong.
Does she really think an apology is going to get her off the hook? This is no joke. You're giving sworn testimony in a court of law.
Well, that's right. Let me ask you a question. Do you remember what the weather was like 1 week ago today?
Huh? Well, naturally, it was,
You see, it's not that easy to remember, is it?
Yes, but it was 2 days ago. But if it had been some kind of special day, I would have remembered. For example, it was pouring rain on the day of my elementary school graduation.
Objection! No one cares. No one wants to hear about your childhood traumas, Trite.
What?
By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. If you insist on obsessing over that one statement, let's see the proof. Show some evidence that the body somehow crossed the bridge while it was on fire.
Well, I don't see why there couldn't be a way across.
It's right. dead body crossing a burning bridge. Did anyone actually witness such a thing?
Huh. If there was, I don't think you'd call someone like that a witness. After all, a dream isn't the same as actually seeing something.
Come all this way, so I owe it to everyone to figure this out. How do you transport a body across a burning bridge? Even if I don't know the exact answer yet, it's okay. I'll start by examining all of my evidence, and see where that takes me. I've got to be like a shark. If I don't keep moving, I'm as good as dead.
That's actually very true. Sharks need to constantly move in order to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they don't keep moving, they won't be able to breathe.
Alright, so contradiction? Where?
I would have to guess the last part.
Okay. And what's the contradiction evidence?
I don't know.
Is there a way to cross a burning bridge? If you're an attorney. She used the hanging scroll to cross the bridge. She just rode it like a sled. She hooked across on the cheetah. She hooked across with her staff. Did you see it? How would you get across a burning bridge? She flew! She literally flew! A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility.
What? Huh. You're saying it's possible. Don't make me laugh.
Too late. You already did.
The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air.
I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen.
Preposterous!
Who is it? Who is this witness?
Can't chicken out here. I've got to keep on the attack and go, go, go. Miss Elise Stonham's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Larice Stonham.
Brilliant. Highly gifted.
Remember what he said in his testimony? That night he was at the Mountain Shack, Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night.
Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air?
With the greatest of ease.
And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument?
Uh-oh. The judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket.
Huh. Don't make me laugh. Wait, crap. Well, Trite, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything?
Yes. I'm pretty sure it does. I'm gonna prove it.
Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with this sketch?
Upside down? Why did Godot say that?
Alright then, let's hear the defense's theory.
That's it!
What's it?
That's it!
What?
Oh! I even had an idea, a theory pop up when he showed the picture of the bridge. Ah! I got it!
What? Tell me.
What exactly is this sketch trying to show?
I don't think old Whiskerface is gonna forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix. Look carefully and think it over. This sketch drawn by Laurie Stoneham is evidence of nothing, a complete contradiction, or exactly what happened.
Tell me.
I will tell you it is exactly what happened.
Is it?
Yes. Of course the victim was flying through the air. You can see it right there in the sketch. Whoosh!
You know, you're starting to remind me of yesterday's witness.
What? That was the last thing I wanted to hear.
Do you have any evidence that the victim flew through the air?
Well, I mean,
Just so you know, we haven't discovered a giant human catapult at the Inner Temple yet.
ugh, I wish they had.
Even if you're a lousy lawyer, at least you're 1 cup's worth of entertainment. I think we should skip the penalty this time.
Ugh. There must be some way. I just know it. There must be a way to use Larry's sketch to show the truth of what happened. The hint's right there.
Upside down.
All right then, the witness will now return to her testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now I just don't know what order we're supposed to present them in. Nope, okay. Okay, so it's the sketch. It all comes back to this.
I can't believe we're looking at this again.
I admit that I didn't really understand it before, but I get it now. That's why I believe the sketch shows the truth.
Very well. All right then, let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show?
I don't think old Whiskerface is gonna forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. The sketch drawn by Laurie Stoneham is...
I'm gonna.
I will be right back. I'm gonna go pee while you think it over and try and figure it out.
I'm so confused. That's the only hint that's being given. What does he mean, upside down? Upside down. Upside down.
Any ideas? Okay. So I think it's worded weird, but I think it's a complete contradiction. It's what they want. Something is obviously funny about this sketch.
I'm no art critic, but even I can see that.
No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Laurie Stoneham stated it over and over, that the sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it.
Oh, I get it now!
You do?
He was looking at it upside down when he saw it.
So, for your benefit, since I can do this, I will turn off screen rotate. She didn't fly through the air over the bridge.
She fell. She fell.
Not exactly.
So what happened?
too full.
So what happened? It contradicts reality?
She just used the Parker technique.
Huh. This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger-pointing thing again. Okay, Wright. So what exactly contradicts reality as we know it?
This flying figure, naturally. After all, people haven't learned to fly yet. Or did I miss something?
That's right. That answer just now. It was lethal.
Mr. Wright, after dragging us all the way to this point, that answer was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing I'm actually blushing.
Blushing only suits women, not the elderly. Anyway, what now? Point to something else. Your Honor, please give me one more chance. I'm in a tight spot now. What I really need to do is turn this case upside down. If they could not spell it out for us so much. So it's time for me to flip things around and get them straight again in my head.
You know what you're saying this time?
Louis Stoneham stated over and over that the sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts the reality as we know it.
You're back to the finger-pointing thing? Is it the bridge?
I believe it's somewhere around here, maybe.
Somewhere. Around here?
Maybe?
Well, the artist responsible for the sketch is a bit of a walking contradiction. So it's difficult to point out where the contradictions end, and the truth begins.
Enough with the psychobabble.
No?
Okay. Then I know exactly what it is.
Okay, what is it?
It's this wire connected to the bridge. Where were the wires on the bridge?
Oh, were they on the bottom?
Yes, they were.
The wire? Huh. Is that the thing that contradicts reality?
It is indeed. If you have a single sip of coffee, I'm not going to have anything to sip. So hold on. So yeah, he just used the Parker technique.
What's the Parker technique?
Then shows the reality it supposedly conflicts with.
What happened?
That chair tilts back, and it scares me every time.
Show us something that will point out how the sketch contradicts reality. That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct?
Yes. Now, compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge,
Jumping Jehoshaphat!
That's new.
the wires are below the guard wires.
What? Order! 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 This sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just saw it wrong?
Yes, that's exactly it. He did say it wrong.
Or perhaps he just drew it wrong?
Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong.
With someone like Larice, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question, why did he make a mistake? What was the reason?
Are you saying you know the answer to that?
Yes.
Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Larice was doing when he witnessed this event. He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and waited, and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame, even though the lightning went horizontal there.
Now ponder what sort of position Larice must have been in at the time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did.
He was lying on his back? I can't see how it relates.
But it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down.
Ugh! Ugh. No way.
Larice Stoneham witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down.
So then, the sketch should actually...
I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Larice Stoneham's sketch is like this. This is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum.
Sweet sticklers! Of all the things to say, a pendulum?
What?
He said order, order, order.
Oh, order, order, order. Of all the things to say, a pendulum?
The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And a pendulum was the only way to get it done.
What's a pendulum?
Like in a clock, you know, the thing that...
Oh.
Yeah. The thing that swings back and forth.
Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff.
Yes, that sounds right.
In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you'd need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead.
Au contraire. The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident. So it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them.
What?
I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there.
Oh! Isn't that rope that was missing? On the other side?
In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory.
From the weird little knobby thing on the other side of the bridge?
What makes you think the criminal had the rope on hand to create a pendulum?
How do we see this though? What are you looking at?
Well, what did you say that they used to make the body swing across? Using the Parker technique because they swung like Peter Parker.
Yeah? What'd they use?
Okay. You're on the side with the phone booth. Go to the other side of the bridge. Remember that weird little thing? That was like a fort thing? I don't know what it was called. But we saw it with Franziska.
The mooring? Yes.
Didn't he say there used to be a rope on that?
A cable. Cable's attached to in 4 spots to hold the bridge up.
Yeah, didn't he say it was missing?
Well, it's not missing, per se.
It wasn't there.
So where are the cables on the bridge? They connect in the middle. So we've got this one that connects there. We got this one that connects there. We got this one that connects there.
Look down. Exactly.
And the meaning of this is...
If you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard.
Ah! This is one of the wires from the bridge.
When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. Although that doesn't add up.
Why?
Because if you're dragging a body over to the bridge, and the bridge is burning, and one of the wires has come loose, where's that wire going to be?
Yeah, down there.
It's gonna be dangling.
How the heck did she get it?
Maybe it wasn't all the way down. Maybe it was still like hang. Maybe it was like detached from the thing, but it wasn't. It didn't fall down.
So like it had come undone, but it was just kind of like laying there, like slowly
Yeah.
sliding off until she just grabbed it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Elise Stoneham's body.
Woo!
Up she goes. And thankfully it undid the... Okay. Because there was simply no other way to move the body. Huh. That sound good enough?
Are you okay?
I'm fine. As long as that sounded good enough.
Yeah, what was that about, Godot?
Mr. Godot.
Oh, he's still gone.
It seems that Mr. Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of a rope being readily available were very high. So I suppose that it's not an impossibility after all. Possible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Trite, I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum?
Yes.
We do?
Yes.
We do?
Yes.
And that is?
So. Here we go again. So. We'll go over to the picture of the fridge. Okay. So. Actually, this isn't a good one. We'll use this one. So. There's the mooring. So the murderer tied her body to it and flung her across. She swung over and flip, fell.
Yeah.
If it swings,
She fell from a height.
that she did. And if she swung, 10 yards down and then back up 10 yards, although probably more like 7 yards because they don't meet in the middle, and she flew up and then came loose and fell back down, she'd probably fall about 10, 12 feet from the top of her arc and down.
Hang on. Did you say 10 feet?
I did say 10 feet, yeah, 10 to 12 feet, yeah, what? Why do you ask? Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see it's the one that was in front of the inner temple.
So then, that was the spot where the criminal...
Yes, precisely. Now let us consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point.
Did you say drop?
Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank.
What? What makes you think something like that happened?
Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance.
Well, what kind of evidence?
Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death.
10 feet, huh?
That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. Yes, this bloodstained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off of Miss Elise Stoneham's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found.
Indeed. I believe it's already marked on this overhead map. The crystal was found... Ah!
Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed.
This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with a way the body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Mr. Wright!
Not me, him.
I thought this cold coffee might help cool you down. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Godot?
Grab it. Why did you grab it?
Because he usually doesn't actually sip it. He usually grabs it and goes, and then starts talking.
That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Trite. But you forgot about one thing. Oh, and what would that be? The aroma.
Huh? See?
A coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma.
The rest of the court doesn't speak coffee-nese. Could you elaborate a bit more?
If the criminal had sent the body to the other side like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it. An accomplice? The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So, who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Trite? Mr. Godot is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do.
Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice. Movie back there.
Very well then, if you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person that received the body on the Hazakura Temple side?
Any ideas?
Oh, we already know who it is.
Okay, I just thought if you have any idea, like if anybody else might do it, might have done it, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah? Who is it?
Yeah, Iris.
It can only be you, Sister Iris.
Huh? Ah! Bye. Hi.
I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it.
Trite, were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the Inner Temple Garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath.
I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Godot? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim.
Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time.
That's because she was.
Sister Iris, let me ask you something.
Drop that.
Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony?
Mention what?
The pendulum, of course. Using the sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I've established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge. Which means it's now a fact that this occurred. Something you should have already known.
No. I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum.
She showed up after the body was already there. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with.
What? So how can you say that, Mr. Wright?
Oh my god!
Is this really Dahlia?
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple?
Are you saying this is really Dahlia?
Are you serious, Trite? You mean This woman is...
There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Because she's been right in front of me this whole time. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing there at the witness stand. Her real name is... Are you nodding to Maya?
No.
Okay.
I'm nodding to just go for it.
I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. And by your reaction, I'm right.
Hawthorne?
Sister Iris had a twin sister. And you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless.
So when did they swap?
I don't know. Maybe she went. Maybe when she went to the temple?
Well, she would have had to learn how to channel first.
Did you
But also,
forget-
the oh my god isn't about it being Dahlia. Because I figured that Dahlia was channeled and was somewhere. The oh my god was about something else.
What was it about?
If I'm right, you'll see. And if I'm wrong, I'll let you know after, it's explained.
Ha! It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh yes, I remember now. That case 5 years ago.
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
The honor is all mine.
No, the honor's all mine.
Ooh, I like that kind of slow fade into color.
But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month.
So it couldn't have been when she got to the temple.
So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom. What? Order! Order! Order!
Wait a moment. Wait a moment?
Wait a moment.
Wait a moment. How can you... My sister, she's already dead. What kind of...
You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the Korean channeling technique flows within that body.
She's Morgan Faye's daughter.
The Korean channeling technique. Now, where have I heard that?
That's right. You're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium.
Oh, I get it now.
What?
That is Iris, but she's just inspiriting. She's just channeling Dahlia.
What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was.
Well, if you're gonna put things that way, then yes.
That's stupid!
You're stupid.
We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens.
Naturally, it was no coincidence.
Did you just say election?
Election! The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions.
Oh, what's that?
These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple. 2 of them. Even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 p.m., excuse me. However, Iris was seen before dinner time.
That means the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris.
And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne. That's why she went, "Oh, yeah, I totally gave you that hood. I remember that. Yeah." Because it was Dahlia at that point.
Do you even know what you're saying, Wright? This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris.
What?
Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike.
She swung with the body.
Woo! Possibly.
It was later that the body was moved by pendulum.
That's right.
Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. There they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center.
Yes, I suppose. Can't deny any of that.
Whew. Thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced.
But something still seems off. Way off. I'm still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from the other night.
Huh. I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Like, the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places.
Wah!
Switched places?
My shoulder.
There we go.
To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things that I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial.
Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia. Which means they must have switched places somewhere.
Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple, have there been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne?
What do you think?
Yes?
What?
Oh no, there was an earthquake! I gotta go unlock that gate right now!
Oh, yeah.
Which means I think my theory is right!
What is your theory? Tell me it now.
No! You're gonna find out and you're gonna be like, oh my god, no way! Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance.
Oh? Explain yourself.
Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown.
Unknown? What do you mean?
What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised.
Well, who was it? Who would give a murder suspect time to move around freely like that?
I'm sorry. I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris the chance to freely move about was...
I don't know.
Well, who was she with?
Who was what with?
Who was Iris with that then stopped watching her for a couple minutes?
Oh, Edward, because of the earthquake.
This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it?
Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not?
An earthquake?
Earthquake!
Oh my goodness. You in a temple? This kind of tremor might. Now I got her voice back.
How could I have? She fled. She escaped. We went to the inner temple right away.
And there she was.
And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne.
That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here. No judge in his right mind will consider the idea of spirit channeling and...
I think it's me.
Yeah.
Be quiet.
Yep.
It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
Oh, wait, no, I'm supposed to do the jerk version.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
that voice. Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. The only one that doesn't have to do anything with coffee.
Dahlia Hawthorne. And my current profession? Permanently retired.
Huh. So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh?
Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me.
What is going on here?
Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again. I never thought we'd meet like this.
Right? I'm talking with your theory.
But this time, I'll end it. For her and for myself. To be continued.
You're joking. You're joking.
I am like 99% sure that my theory is correct and that, oh my god, was justified. I figured it out.
What? Tell me, because I'm really slow at this, apparently.
No, I don't think you're supposed to have figured it out yet. I don't think it's supposed to be that obvious yet.
Keep pulling me up.
Also, it's been 3 hours.
Oh, it has? 106.
Yep, court started at 10.
Oh, it's been 3 hours.
Yep. February 10th, 1:06 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 7.
Can you fix my hearing aid? Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You're talking with the deaf people. Talking with the deaf person.
Now then, let's continue where we left off, shall we? Well, witness?
Yes, how can I help you, Mr. Judge?
Well, it seems that if we're to learn the truth, we'll need to hear your testimony.
I have no problem with that. But when you've seen what I have, sometimes the truth is better left unknown.
In any case, let's hear your testimony. Tell us about the plan that was carried out that night.
I just hope that before we end the stream tonight, my theory's proven right or wrong. The plan. The whole plan began with my death. A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own daughter as the next master. But for it to work, Maya Fey would first have to die. The idea was for me to kill Maya, and then have the blame pinned on Iris. The plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway.
So that means you really are...
Wait a minute. Did you just say the plan was to kill Maya Fey? Yes. You have a problem with that? Don't give us that nonsense. There's no way that...
Watch yourself, Wright. If you got a problem, solve it during cross-examination. That's one of my rules.
That also doesn't involve coffee.
Well, I cross-examined my cups of coffee, so it does have to do with coffee. Mr. Godot is correct. And by the way, that's one of my rules as well.
To kill Maya? Could it be true?
I need a drink all of a sudden. What the heck?
just hit a button?
What?
Did I just hit a button?
No?
Okay, I felt the controller vibrate. I think I just hit my zipper.
You were executed last month, correct? Yes, I was hanged. It wasn't exactly pleasant. How'd you manage to discuss the plan? When did you talk with Morgan Fay? Last year, she was transferred to the same detention center as me. Since I was on death row and she was my mother, it was actually pretty easy to meet with her.
I see. So that's when you discussed the plan.
Heh, you crazy. At first, that woman was planning to kill me as well, even though I'm her own daughter.
All to make Pearl Fay the master of Karain.
She's a cold, twisted woman.
You
She
can say
thought-
that again.
Right? She thought she could finally regain her lost honor. The honor she lost when her younger sister, Misty, took her place as the master. Ever since that day, she's been working on this plan.
A plan, huh?
A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own daughter as the Karain master.
You're talking about Pearl Fay, is that correct?
Yes, though first she had high hopes for the two of us.
You and your twin sister Iris.
That's correct. Fortunately, neither of us had much spiritual power. That's why we were abandoned by her, along with our father.
Abandoned?
The only person I ever really cared about in life was myself. My sister was a nuisance, so I convinced my father to leave her at an old temple.
You mean Iris?
Yes, my father remarried a woman who also had a daughter. The less children you have, the more money there is to go around, right? And on top of that, my father had absolutely no interest in children in general.
How horrible.
The really horrible one was that woman. That bitter, vengeful woman. It was her stubbornness that gave birth to that child, Pearl Fay. She was born with an abundance of spiritual power, unfortunately for her. Morgan Fay heaped all of her her hopes and dreams onto that poor child's back. All because of her pathetic dreams of having her bloodline become the main family. But for it to work, Maya Fay would first have to die.
Maya would have to die? But why?
For our bloodline to succeed as the main family, thus making Pearl the new master. The remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of.
But Pearls would never agree to a plan like that. She adores Maya.
How sad. You still don't get it, do you? What Pearl wanted had nothing to do with it. Morgan didn't care one bit about Pearl. The only thing she cared about was the position of the master. That's all.
That's ridiculous.
She was willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve her goal. The life of her daughter, and naturally, the life of Maya Fay as well.
How could anyone do that?
The idea was for me to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris.
You? You were gonna kill Maya?
Pearl didn't need to know anything about it. All she had to do was follow the instructions in the letter and channel me. Then I would have simply used her body and finished the job. In any case, I'm already dead, and there's nothing any of you can do to me.
Ugh. So the plan was to blame the crime on your younger twin. On Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple.
She and I look absolutely identical. No one could tell us apart. If someone were to witness me killing Maya, naturally they would think it was Iris that had done it.
And the witness in this case was the head nun, Sister Bikini.
I never would have guessed she was going to return to Hazakura Temple that night. But she wound up seeing Iris's crime anyway.
But why did you want to pin the murder on Iris in the first place? She's your twin sister, isn't she?
I told you she was a nuisance. Twin sister? Don't make me laugh. She's nothing but a backstabber.
I couldn't care less about her. Backstabber?
Oh yeah, didn't they say something about...
Yeah, Iris said something about that. She betrayed her own sister.
Yeah. You just don't understand. You never will. Anyway, the plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway.
You think the plan was a success?
You heard me, just as that woman had hoped. Maya Fey is dead. Now the title of the master will pass on to Pearl Fey.
That's absurd. Maya's just... she's just trapped. Trapped inside the sacred cavern.
Really? You're as foolishly optimistic as ever, aren't you? My darling Feemy. Do you want to know the truth? Ever since we met, I've despised you. Your sniveling naivete and your pathetic faith in other people.
I just want to know one thing. What did you personally think of Morgan Fay's plan?
I told you already, didn't I? It was a stupid plan. It had no point, no value other than fulfilling her own greedy desires. Yes, it was certainly nothing to be proud of.
If that's how you feel, why'd you help her carry it out? Why would you do it? Why would you kill Maya?
You may not understand it, being the kind and gentle soul that you are. You may not be able to appreciate why someone like me would help a woman like that.
So then tell me, why?
Isn't it obvious? I'm not like that woman. I only act in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself. For my own personal satisfaction.
What did you say? So this woman, Dahlia Hawthorne, she had her own reason for wanting Maya dead?
I told you it's taking revenge on you.
Do you understand why I would kill Maya Fey now? What my goal was?
Obviously, it's because you were helping Morgan Fay.
Helping? Don't make me laugh. From the day I was born to the day I died, I never helped anyone. I lived for myself and, in the end, I died for myself. I thought that was obvious.
So she wasn't actually cooperating with Morgan. She was just using Morgan in her plan so she could accomplish her own goal.
All I wanted to do was kill Maya Fey. That was the only way I could think of to get revenge.
Revenge? Looks like I have no choice but to present that piece of evidence.
I knew it.
Can't believe it. She meant to kill Maya. I've got to keep a cool head. And I need to get more information out of her. It's the only way to understand this plan, and what she was after as well.
I think I know what it is.
Okay.
I just don't know if it'll work.
Okay, so I'm guessing that it's on... Do you understand why I would kill Maya Fey now, what my goal was?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the evidence?
Go to profile.
Profiles, okay.
Oh, wait, we can't. Never mind.
What? What were you going to say?
I was gonna say show Phoenix. Show Phoenix right.
Right? Let's see. So Maya went to the Inner Temple and is now missing. Mia passed away 2 years ago. Pearl is channeling Prodigy. Prosecutor Mystery. Homicide Detective. Head Nun. Misty Faye. Iris has no spiritual power. Larry Butts. Franziska von Karma. Miles Edgeworth. Dahlia, who's dead. And older sister of Misty Faye in solitary confinement.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot we don't know how old she is.
Right? What was her goal? Why did she want to kill Maya Fey?
I don't know. Ah.
talisman, the ELISE wore, the letter, the dagger, the bridge photo, the stone lantern.
I really
Oh, duh. Yep, okay.
what?
I figured it as much.
What?
So, why would she want to kill Maya? To get revenge, she
Yeah.
said, right?
Mhm.
Who would she want revenge on?
Like I said, us, but we can't show us
Why would she want revenge on us?
because of what happened.
Because of what happened. What do you mean? We defended her till the end. We didn't get her arrested. We defended her. We even swallowed the necklace.
She said she despised us.
Yes, but she despised everyone. She wanted to get revenge on someone. But she couldn't get revenge on them for some reason.
Ooh,
Well, why would you not be able to get revenge on someone?
because she was dead.
You're thinking of the wrong person, but yes.
I'm so confused.
If I want to get revenge on someone, but I can't, what possible reasons could there be that I can't get revenge on that person?
Either you physically can't or someone won't let you.
Okay. So, physically can't. What would stop you physically from being able to get revenge on someone?
If you're hurt, if you're dead, if... Is it because she's dead?
Who?
Talia.
No.
I'm getting really confused here. What are you going at? Mia?
Who got her arrested and executed?
Oh!
She can't get revenge on a dead person. That's why she's ticked.
Ah,
Because Mia's dead. So she can't get revenge on Mia. So she went, fine, I'll kill your little sister then. And your little dog, too.
but
Could it be that your actual goal had nothing to do with Maya Fey herself? As I said, none of you have the power to punish me anymore. Because I'm already dead. Well, I had the same problem, you see. You can't punish the dead. And you can't take revenge against them either. Ba-boom!
You wanted to take revenge on someone?
I was sentenced to die because of that woman. Mia Fey. I somehow knew this was it. I wanted to send her a message. It was at her hands that I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted her to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up.
And the reason it was impossible, was it perhaps because Mia Fey had already died?
Yes, and I realized there's only one way to take revenge against the dead.
And how do you do that?
Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. I wanted to take away the person that Mia Fey loved most. I wanted to kill her with my own hands. That would be the one and only way I could take my revenge against Mia Fey. That was the reason I helped out with that woman's plans. Just for that? For that you would kill Maya? Your goal was no different than that of Morgan Fey.
As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. What a cruel plan. Cruel, cold, and heartless.
Don't waste your time preaching to the dead.
Cruel, cold, and heartless. Is Phoenix Wright gonna be in the new Kingdom Hearts game?
don't even. Don't even.
Oh, come on!
Don't even.
I wonder what a Keyblade would look like for Phoenix Wright. Would the prongs at the end be like a case file or an autopsy report?
What's a pro?
The teeth at the end. Remember at the end of the
Oh.
Keyblade or the teeth? Yeah. The Keyblade is just the metal detector. So we're just swinging around a metal detector.
Imagine. No, that would be a good. That would be a good Keyblade for Gumshoe.
Right? And you can summon Missile.
Yes, the missile.
Yes! Summon Missile! Anyway, don't waste your time preaching to the dead. I've already told you, there's not a thing you can do to me. I'll throw salt at you! That night.
Salt.
Yeah, salt purifies spirits.
Oh, that's
Yeah. At about 9:30 p.m., I materialized into this world. I quickly pinned my hair up and put on a demon warding hood. Then I picked up the staff that was by my side and left Tazakura Temple. So, it was Elise Donim who channeled her after all. That ridiculous head nun never noticed a thing. She left Maya Fey at the inner temple and wobbled back, clutching her poor old back.
What did you do then?
That kid was easier to handle than I had hoped. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and... So then you're saying you stabbed Maya? It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that.
What does that mean? No clear memory.
I don't know. I think I was stabbed. You were stabbed? At the last minute. Maya Fey must have stabbed me. I'm sure of it. That's not like her at all. Maya wouldn't stab a French fry with a plastic fork. Anyway, I suddenly lost consciousness. But before I did, I scrawled her name on the lantern. Just as I was passing out, I wrote Maya behind my back. I had hoped it would cast suspicion on her. I can't believe she was thinking of that until the bitter end. Well, I mean, she'd already died once, so she doesn't care at that point. That's where my memory temporarily stops.
It stops?
I don't have any memory of actually killing Maya Fey with my own two hands. My very last memory was Maya's terror-filled eyes. When I woke up after that, I was in the sacred cavern surrounded by darkness.
You were in the sacred cavern?
The entrance was sealed with one of those trick locks. Somehow I'd been trapped in there.
But how did you wind up in there?
I'd like to know that myself. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know whether or not Maya Fey was dead. And I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until I knew I'd killed her myself.
For a ghost, you're one tough cookie.
I wanted to get out of there and make sure she was dead. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't get out.
The trick lock stopped you, huh?
I didn't know how to remove it.
So then you're saying you were actually confined against your will inside the sacred cavern?
Yes, I wanted to get rid of that annoying lock as soon as possible. But it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted while I was working on it.
Interrupted?
It was early in the morning, but someone came into the training hall.
What? Who?
Could it have been Maya? I thought the same thing, but I couldn't see. Why not? If someone had spotted me, I would have lost my chance to take revenge. So I made sure to hide myself well at the back of the sacred cavern. That morning, only 2 people could have gone into the training hall. Maya and Pearls. Pearls went there to cover the hanging scroll and gravy. Still, I finally managed to remove the lock. But I was too late.
What do you mean by that?
The flies had already started to gather.
The bridge had been fixed and the police had started their investigation, correct?
Naturally, I couldn't go out. So instead, I returned to the cavern and put the lock back on myself. I realized I wouldn't get a chance to see Maya's corpse that I'd hoped. But just then, Lady Luck showed up.
Lady Luck?
After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself. The real Iris? She said she'd come to make sure the Sacred Cavern was all right. Stupid girl. I came out from the Sacred Cavern and got a feel for the situation. And I locked her away in my place. I finally learned exactly what had happened. It was then that I learned that the plan had actually succeeded. My theory's right. What do you mean your plan had succeeded? I misunderstood one thing, you see. That night, the one that had summoned me, I'd assumed it was Pearl Fay.
Well, of course you would have assumed that. It was written in the instructions.
But I was wrong. The person that had actually called my spirit back was Misty Fay, the picture book author.
What?
Well, that's really the only possibility, isn't it? After I lost consciousness in the garden, it was her body that was left lying there. Maya Fey. I wasn't able to kill her with my own hands after all. But even so, I made her commit the most vile sin a human can commit.
And that is?
Matricide. The sin of killing her own mother. Ugh. No way!
Order! Order in the court! What is the meaning of this?
It's true that I was the one who attacked Maya Fey. But even so, the murderer who actually snuffed out Misty Fay's life was none other than your darling little Maya. Ridiculous! That's nonsense! Are you sure about that? Just think about it. There's even evidence supporting these facts, isn't there? What? What do you mean? What is the so-called evidence? The fact that Maya Fey has disappeared is evidence enough, isn't it? Huh? The idea that she's still in the Sacred Cavern is just ridiculous. She wasn't able to escape from the Inner Temple. That much is obvious. In that case, there's only one place she could be.
Where?
Do I have to spell it out? The bottom of the Eagle River. Where else?
Eagle River.
Maya Fey killed her long-lost mother. Can you imagine the guilt she must have felt when she realized that? That's why she threw herself into the Eagle River. Most bodies that wind up in there are lost forever. I would know.
Mine wasn't.
Right?
Yours wasn't either.
So, what do you have to say now, Feeny?
Phoenix wasn't. Yours wasn't either. That has to be his song. That has to be his song.
Oops. Sorry, that's my phone.
What kind of ringtone is that?
Godot here. Okay, thanks.
We got the DNA back for the blood.
Was it something important? They just finished removing the locks from the Sacred Cavern. Oh, okay, that too.
That's great! What about Maya? She's not in there. Calling it now.
There was a woman in the cave.
And it was Iris.
Was it Maya Fey? It was the accused, Sister Iris.
Huh? Don't look so surprised. I locked her in there yesterday. I just finished telling you that. So, what about Maya? Where is she?
There was no one else found inside the Sacred Cavern.
No. Can't be. I told you, didn't I?
Unless.
She's dead. No.
Unless.
No!
It seems that this case has come to an end. A tragic end. Sadly, it appears the killer of Elise Donim, also known as Misty Fey, was her own daughter, Maya Fey. Overcome with guilt for what she had done, Maya Fey jumped to her death into the raging waters of the Eagle River.
It can't be.
Ha! Wright, have you ever heard this one? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. No matter how improbable it may seem. What is that supposed to mean, Prosecutor Godot? According to this witness, Maya Fey threw herself into the Eagle River. However, is that really the truth? Remember, this woman testified earlier that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place in the garden, which means that Maya had thrown herself into the river. It must have been from the inner temple side, near the bridge.
That's right. That's where she jumped from.
But that's impossible. It's impossible to jump into the river from there.
Let me see that map again.
There you go. There's the map.
Oh my god, he's right.
Thank you, Godot. What?
Don't get your panties all twisted up, Wright. Just relax and think through the whole thing again.
So it's impossible? Maya couldn't have thrown herself into Eagle River?
Well, Mr. Wright?
I have a theory.
Yeah?
Maya has spirit power, yes?
I would certainly hope so.
Miss Hawthorne claims Miss Fey threw herself into the river from the inner temple side. Do you have any evidence that refutes this claim?
It's impossible to jump into the Eagle River from the inner temple side. No one knows that better than this witness. What did you say? 11 years ago, you jumped into the very same river. Just take a look at this overhead map.
Do you see the giant cliff?
As you can see, below the cliff on the inner temple side is a big rock shelf.
Oh. Ooh. You're right.
She wouldn't have reached the river if she had jumped off from there. In other words, if she had jumped, we should be able to see her body in this photo. Ah.
Huh. So you finally figured it out.
You... No!
No.
No!
No!
That was a bit too loud.
Oh, order! Order!
You're just playing with me. My face body's at the bottom of the Eagle River. There's nowhere else she could possibly be hiding. Miss Hawthorne, have you ever heard this one before? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Yes, just a few minutes ago. Maya Fey wasn't inside the Sacred Cavern. We now know that she didn't throw herself into the Eagle River.
Correct. That eliminates all the most likely possibilities.
Now, although it seems improbable, there's still one other place she could be.
What? What is this one possibility you're talking about?
That's obviously a bluff. So where's her dead body then? Finally, I think the pieces are falling into place. Normally, the living have no way to punish the dead. But I think there's a way to give Dolly Hawthorne the ultimate punishment. Shall I tell you, Miss Hawthorne? Shall I tell you where Maya is this very instant? Maya Fey is in the inner temple, in Hazakura Temple, or in this very courtroom?
In this very courtroom.
Oh my god! There's only one possibility left. Namely, she's right here in this very courtroom. What?
Maya Fey is here? You say she's in my courtroom?
I would honestly think the same thing. She's in, like, the witness chair thing. The witness stand, that's it.
Yeah? Oh. Dolly Hawthorne. I seem to recall that you said, I had misunderstood one thing, you see. So what?
But I think there's one more thing you misunderstood. What do you mean? Tell me something. At this very moment, who is channeling Dahlia Hawthorne? Why, that's obvious. It's Pearl Fay, that pathetic little sniveling runt. You're wrong. Pearl's tried, but she couldn't do it.
I've never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened.
Isn't there any explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit?
It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit.
Someone called me before Pearl did? But who? Pearl's even tried again on the day after the crime. But she couldn't do it. What could that mean? I think the truth is becoming clearer to you right about now. Am I correct? Ah! It wasn't Pearls that channeled you. There was someone who called you before she could.
Remember what Sister Bikini said? When you are undergoing this training, you can easily channel any spirit, even if you don't mean to.
That is true.
Maya could have easily, been opened to channeling. Then Dahlia's spirit was like, oh, that must be Pearl. Then went in, and then boom.
And remember when Phoenix said, your true identity is, and then it popped up this, and then you nodded, and I said, are you nodding to Maya Fey? And you went, no. You should have.
I was right all along.
You were right all along. This is an easy one. Pearls couldn't do it, and Misty Fey is gone. There's only one possibility left.
Come on already. I can't stand the tension.
Dahlia Hawthorne. The person channeling you right now must be Maya Fey. What? 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 What?
That was there.
But how could that be? Remember what this witness Dahlia Hawthorne said about her goal. She said that her goal was to kill Maya Fey. Yes, that's right. But if Maya channeled the spirit of someone that was trying to kill her... Heh. Well, Gramps, what would happen? Could it be?
She said the plan worked. Maya's dead. You can't punish a dead person. You can't punish me. Haha, you can't punish me. You can't execute me. Ha, just try and execute me. Okay, we'll execute you. I win. Maya's dead now. She was trying to get executed. That's why she confessed. She's trying to get executed. She's trying to get proven guilty so that they'll kill Maya. Because it's still Maya's body.
You're right. Oh my god, it makes sense now.
It looks like you finally understand, Your Honor. Well, I don't. What are you going on about? What I'm going on about is the reason Maya channeled you. And there's only one reason. To protect herself from you. To protect herself? From me? Yes. On the night of the crime, you were only interested in one thing. That's why she suddenly forgot, she lost consciousness. She lost her memory. Because after she attacked Maya, Maya went, oh, no. I'm channeling your spirit now. I'm taking your spirit, because then you can't kill me.
But what did stab herself? There you go.
This is Dahlia we're talking about.
Yeah, you're right.
Killing Maya Fey. The path back to Hazakura was closed off, and there was nowhere for her to run. So then the problem became, where would be the safest place to hide?
Stop that.
You mean? What?
Stop that.
What? That's what she said.
No, I mean with a high voice.
Ah!
No.
Oh!
You mean that's when she channeled me? All this time you thought you'd been channeled by Pearls. That's why it never occurred to you that Maya's hiding place was you. That's why it was all locked up like that. Because she was hiding Iris's body down there. But that's why we couldn't find Maya. Because Maya's been right in front of us the whole time. No. Don't say that! You're saying that Dahlia Hawthorne, was played for a fool by that little whelp? Maya Fey killed herself. Isn't it obvious? Sorry, but no. It would have been impossible for her to jump into the Eagle River. This was the only avenue of escape open for Maya. The only way that Maya could disappear from the inner temple. I don't believe you. A stupid little girl like that, who's never been out in the real world. She could never have come up with a plan like that. Who could have ever given her such a brilliant idea? Well...
Me, of course.
Mia! Mia Fey. Wait, so if Pearls was standing there next to Phoenix the whole time...
I think she just showed up.
Okay, because if she was standing there the whole time, wouldn't Dahlia have been like, yeah, Pearls summoned... because Pearls is right there, so obviously she's not channeling her. Mia Fey.
It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne.
So it's true. It was you.
Yes.
Huh. You're something else. Kitten.
Please say kitten.
But what are you doing here? That hair. It's Pearls, right?
Tell me something, Dahlia. I want you to think back to that night one more time. You had just cornered Maya in the inner temple's garden. And then, in the final moment of the fight, you lost consciousness.
I was stabbed by Maya Fey.
Actually, Maya lost consciousness at the exact same time as you.
Maya literally went, I know how to get out of this. I'm channeling your spirit. That wasn't a look of terror. That was a look of, I'm taking your spirit. Your soul is mine.
She did? Not terribly surprising since she was about to be killed.
When she woke up, she was in the training hall. That's when Maya decided she needed help. So she channeled me. She explained in a memo the situation she was in. She asked me what I thought she should do.
So in the gravy, I wrote out a note back to her. She did that? Can't believe it.
Of course, I didn't have all details. But one thing was perfectly clear.
And that was?
I knew that you couldn't be allowed to wander free.
Free? What do you mean?
It was a race against time. So I wrote down 2 things that Maya had to do. Channel Dahlia Hawthorne as soon as possible. And lock yourself in the sacred cavern until help arrives.
So it was Maya who put that lock on there.
Yes, but why did you order her to do those 2 things?
If she hadn't done it, Dahlia Hawthorne would have been channeled by someone else. By one Pearl Fey.
Pearls?
Yes, Pearl didn't properly understand the plan. So all she was trying to do was follow her mother, Morgan Fey's instructions. if she has succeeded in channeling Dahlia Hawthorne's spirits, things would have turned out very badly, to put it mildly.
So that's how it was. Dahlia Hawthorne would have used the body of Pearl Fay to kill Maya at all costs. Yes, it certainly sounds like that was the intent all along. I'm just pretending that I understand all this spirit stuff.
How dare you? I won't forget this.
Why not just admit it, Dahlia Hawthorne? Your little plan was nothing but a big failure.
Yes, another failure to add to the pile of shame. Wouldn't you say?
What do you mean by another? Think about it, Dahlia. Remember all your past crimes? Not a single one of them was a success. They all ended in failure.
What? How dare you?
11 years ago.
You're right, she does have her mother's eyes.
Right? The fake kidnapping, your very first crime. You got your hands on a $2 million diamond, but after Terry Falls escaped and went to meet with Valerie Hawthorne, the truth was exposed.
Shut your mouth. That wasn't my fault. It was because of that stupid oaf of a prisoner and that weakling of a policewoman.
And then, 1 year later, you tried to kill me.
Yeah, don't think I forgot that.
Well, I'm still alive, but you wound up killing someone else.
And try to blame me in the process.
Right? As a result, you were sentenced to death. It's one stupid move after another for you, but it's no longer funny.
You wipe that smug, happy-go-lucky smile off your face.
And now this. You've messed up again. You let Maya Fey escape, even though she was right there in front of you.
Mia Fey. You spinster! I was supposed to kill Maya Fey like I swore I would. And if only you had gotten this spiky-haired jerk the guilty verdict, I wouldn't have been hanged to death.
True. But I think you finally understand, Dahlia Hawthorne. You will never defeat me.
What? What did you say?
Whether you're alive, dead, or somewhere between, you will never defeat me. As long as I'm around, you're destined to lose for all eternity.
I remember what you said earlier in the trial. You said there was no way we could punish you, because you were already dead.
What about it?
Then you said, even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on, forever.
That's very true, Dahlia. And that's exactly the punishment you'll never be able to escape from.
Knowing that Mia beat you again, and you will never succeed.
Ever.
Think about that punishment forever.
Ever. And for all eternity, you'll have to remain as Dahlia Hawthorne. A miserable, pathetic, weak creature who can never win at anything. And for you, there is no escape from that. No hope of freedom. Since that day you were executed, the narrow bridge that once stretched out in front of you has burnt to a crisp.
You... You're wrong. It can't be. How could I lose to the likes of you.
It no longer matters. I don't care whether you win or lose anymore. The only thing I want is for you to come out of Maya's body right now. Oh, she's coming out.
That was,
Okay.
now she definitely has her mother's eye.
I'm not ready. Not ready to go.
What the Nagatama?
I think her soul's been sealed.
Forever. And no shame of failure.
She looks so weird without her top bun.
Oh my god, you're right. Nick? Sis.
Thump. Yep. Gone.
Think about it, I doubt she's ever been channeling for that long.
Now then, I assume you are the real Iris.
Yes, I was just rescued from a sacred cavern.
I must say you and your twin sister are indeed identical, from what I can see. In any case, it appears that everything has finally been cleared up. Mr. Godot, what happened to Dahlia Hawthorne? If you ask me, Your Honor, it looks like she went back to the hell she came from. It seems that Misty Faye wasn't the only victim of this crime. Maya Faye, as well as the young Pearl Faye, were also victims of this wicked and selfish plan.
Yes, Your Honor.
The tragedy of Medium Valley has finally come to an end, it seems. It would be best for everyone if no further attempt was made to channel that spirit again.
Oh heck yeah.
Your Honor?
Yes, what is it?
About this whole spirit medium thing. It's almost weird how comfortable you seem to be with the concept now.
Well, to be frank, my younger brother is quite judgmental. He often criticizes me for not studying hard enough. That's why I made a concerted effort to study up on the brain channeling technique.
Hey, isn't that the New Year's issue of Occult?
I've seen quite a few things in my many years on the bench. And in all that time, I finally learned this one thing. Each case is different, and takes place in its own world, if you will. In order to fully understand that world, first we have to immerse ourselves in it completely. And that's where my brother and I used to differ.
Never thought of it that way.
At any rate, it's time to pass judgment in the case of Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Now what?
You're a little too fast with that gavel, Your Honor.
How so?
What do you mean by that, Mr. Godot?
This trial isn't over yet. That's what he means.
What?
Trite. Remember what Miss Evil Spirit said in her testimony.
Huh? Dolly's testimony. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and... It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. I think I was stabbed.
Just as Dahlia Hawthorne was about to attack Maya, she was stabbed and killed by someone.
Yes, that's right. The person that was ultimately killed was the spirit medium that channeled Dahlia. Elise Donan, no, Misty Faye. But who killed her? We still don't know who did it.
This isn't over?
Oh my god, he's right.
Unless someone else is found guilty, the accused is still on trial. We can't let her walk until there's evidence that proves her innocence.
No way.
But this court isn't prepared for any further testimony. The prosecution is ready to call our final witness, Final witness?
Oh god.
This one will clear up the whole mystery. The mystery of who killed Misty Faye. Indeed.
Is it really alright, Mr. Prosecutor?
Of course it's alright, Madame Attorney.
Okay, this is interesting.
Very well then. Who's this final witness? Huh. Isn't it obvious? There's one person who saw the whole event who will put the final dagger in this case. Someone who saw the murder took place? The very person who saw her mother killed in front of her own eyes.
You mean Maya? You can't. She can't testify after what she's just been through.
We need to find the truth. The prosecution calls Maya Faye to the witness stand.
This is gonna be interesting.
Very well. But first, we'll take a brief recess. We'll have to wait for Miss Faye to recover before summoning her. Once we receive the doctor's permission, we will proceed with the trial. Hey, Wright, I've got something to say to you, so listen up.
What is it?
I don't think much of you as a lawyer. It's always the same with you. You somehow manage to just squeak by without even a faint understanding of the case. Some beautiful woman always seems to come dashing in at the last minute to save you.
You've got some nerve.
But that's not going to happen this time. This time, you're going to have to do this by yourself.
Sounds about right for a final boss.
That's enough. This court is now in recess.
February 10th, 2:56 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1.
This is gonna be weird. It's like Maya's never testified before.
Right?
I'm truly sorry about everything. You were working so hard to defend me. But I was missing all day, and we didn't even have a chance to talk.
That also explains why Iris didn't talk to Phoenix about the confession and stuff. She's right. When I met Iris at the training hall yesterday, they had already switched places, and Iris was inside the Sacred Cavern.
I wanted to at least be in the defendant's box today to root you on.
Well, it wasn't your fault. You were locked up this whole time. There's something more important than that, though. I have to ask you. Why did you help your sister out as much as you did?
Huh?
If you had tried to get help at the Sacred Cavern yesterday, you wouldn't have spent an entire day locked up in there.
My sister. I felt sorry for her. She was abandoned by her mother and never got any love from her father either.
Yes, but it was the same for you too, wasn't it?
Yes, but at least I had since the beginning. She was like a mother to me. If only Dahlia had come with me to Hadacourt Temple. I always loved her. Dahlia was always so smart, so strong. She never complained about a thing. That's why I promised her that I would help her.
Are you talking about the fake kidnapping case 11 years ago?
Yes, I want to be useful to her in some way.
Did she take Dahlia's place?
But as usual, I was too cowardly.
Oh.
At the last minute, I ran away. Because of that, Dahlia's stepsister, Valerie, ended up...
That was the case that wounded Mia so badly.
But things didn't end up things didn't end there, of course. Some people suspected that my sister was involved in the murder.
Some people? You must mean...
Yes, 2 defense attorneys. CFA and Diego Armando.
That guy looks kind of familiar, Iris. I feel like I've seen him somewhere.
After planning, after poisoning Mr. Armando, she was getting too close to learning the truth. Dahlia even tried to kill the person who had unknowingly hid the poison for her. You.
That's right. Iris, there's one more thing that I have to ask you.
Yes, what is it?
On the night of the murder, you have to be more specific, which murder? The person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim, Elise Donham, was it really you?
Yes, it was me. That night, after I rang the lights out bell, I went back to my room. Around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone.
There's a problem. Come to the inner temple right away. Oh, there's a problem. Come to the inner temple right away.
I got on the snowmobile and headed for the inner temple. But
Dun, dun, dun. The path to the inner temple was cut off, right?
exactly.
You can't just leave the body here. So you've got to do this exactly as I say. Got it?
Woo!
Plop.
It was me. I was the one that had received her body. The murder weapon had been left in her body, so she didn't bleed. So she wouldn't bleed too much. Why? And the staff next to Elise Hotel.
I knew it. So the actual murder weapon was the staff.
Yes, that's right. I brought the body back to Hazard Temple and on the snowmobile.
But why? Why did you alter the body?
I didn't want anyone to know that the staff was the murder weapon. I didn't want to leave anything that would lead back to Mr. Faye. So I dressed her in a robe and stabbed her in the shishito. With the shishito.
Stabbed her in the shishito.
With the shishito. I wiped the blood off the stab blade and left it next to her on the ground.
Iris, just tell me one last thing. Tell me the name of the person that called your cell phone. The real killer.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I can't do it. I can't say who did it.
I see. Victim staff has a sword hidden inside the actual weapon used to murder the victim. Defendant!
Yes?
The judge is calling you. He wants to see you in his chambers. He has some questions about Dolly Hawthorne.
Alright. Well then, see you later. There's something I want to tell you.
Oh, okay. Something she wants to tell me? So it's true. Iris cooperated with the real killer. Maybe even from the very beginning.
Phoenix.
Mia. How is Maya doing?
Physically, I'm not worried. She'll recover completely. But emotionally, she's been hurt very badly in this case. By this case.
I see. You don't mean she's learned who Elise Donim really was?
Yes. I went to the medical office and talked with her. I told her everything I knew.
But why?
Maya is stronger than you think.
You just said she was emotionally devastated by this case. Maybe she's not as strong as you think she is.
I knew she could take it. All of it.
What do you mean by that?
I want you to figure out that... I want you to figure out that answer is out by yourself. The trial's about to restart. The real killer. Do you know who it is yet?
Iris wouldn't tell me who called her. But still. I think that just maybe I know who it was. That night, the victim was killed in the garden of the Inner Temple. And the criminal wasn't just there by accident. Which means that the killer knew of Dahlia's plan from the very beginning.
And one more thing. The victim was moved to the Hazakor temple side by pendulum. In other words, the criminal couldn't cross the bridge. This means they were stuck on the inner temple side for almost an entire day.
Exactly. So the culprit was someone that wasn't in Hazakor Temple the following day.
That is much help. That's as much help as I can give you. The rest of the battle is yours to win or lose.
Okay, I've got it. Thank you, Mia. Finally, it's almost time to bring this case to an end. What exactly did Maya see, anyway? And who was it that actually killed Missy Faye? Whoever it was, I have to prove it. Me, all by myself. To be continued.
Don't you dare, don't you dare, don't
It's
you dare,
time.
don't you dare,
Outro.
don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare, don't
Too
you
late,
dare,
I've already
don't you dare,
dared.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare, give me that back. Give
Nope.
me that back.
Nope.
Give me that back.
Nope.
Give me that back.
Outro.
Give me that.
We will finish this on Monday.
Give me that back. Give me that back. Give me that
Nope.
back. Give me that back. Give me that back. Give me that back. Give it back. Give it back. Give it back. Give it back.
Nope.
Give it back. Give it back.
No.
Give it back.
Nope.
Give
Nope.
it
Nope.
back.
No.
Give it back.
Outro.
Give it back.
Outro.
Give it back.
Outro.
Give it back. 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 Give it back.
Outro.
Give me.
Nope.
Give me.
Nope.
Give me.
No.
Give me.
Uh-uh.
Give me.
No way.
Give me.
No.
Give me.
No.
Give me.
Nope.
Give me.
No.
Give me.
No.
Give me.
Mm-mm.
Give me.
Mm-mm.
Give me.
No.
Give me.
Nope.
Give me.
Do an outro.
Give me.
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 Come on.
Give me.
Come on. Do an outro.
Give me.
Come on.
Give it back.
No.
Give me the microphone.
No.
Give me the microphone.
No.
Give me the microphone.
Nope.
Give me the microphone.
Uh-uh.
Give me the microphone.
No.
Give me the microphone.
No.
Give me the microphone.
Uh-uh.
Give me the microphone.
No.
Give me the microphone.
Mm.
Give me the microphone. Give me the microphone.
Nah.
Give me the microphone.
Nope.
Give me the microphone.
Outro or I'll just end the stream without one.
Give me the microphone.
Outro.
Give it back.
Outro.
Give it back.
Outro.
Give it back.
Outro.
I'll pop out your fingers. You're not double jointed. I can do it.
Outro.
I'll just pop out your fingers.
Outro.
Gimme.
No.
Gimme.
No.
Gimme.
I'm gonna end it one way or another. Might as well do an outro.
Don't make me pop out your pinky.
Outro. Outro. Give an outro. Give an outro. Give an outro.
You're lucky you're not that close to me.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Or else I would bite your hand off.
Well, you can't,
In
so.
your face.
Outro. We will finish this on Monday. Don't worry. It's killing me as much as it's killing you.
So why are you doing this to me?
Because it's almost 11:30 at night. We don't have time to finish it. Outro. Come on. We'll wrap this all up on Monday. Solve all the mysteries.
Okay. I don't want to do this. Okay, guys. That's all we have time for today, apparently. But do not worry. We'll be back. Should we make this a part 1, part 2 thing? Should we make this a part 1, part 2 thing?
What do you mean?
Do you know when you're watching a series and sometimes there's like, like these 2 special episodes that they can't like fit all into one, so they like split in half. So like then like first episode ends like to be continued, then the next one ends, then it just ends. Then casual episode.
Okay, I mean, yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, part
Or you
1.
could say to be concluded,
What does that mean?
to be ended next time.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Part 1, part 2 thing. We should make it that.
You're the one doing the outro.
So yeah, meet us back on Monday for part 2 of the finale. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope to see you guys then for some more. So bye guys.
Farewell.
Feeny.